Alright, you guys, welcome to the video. It's me, Ciara, aka Ciara in the bonus, and we are here live on Twitch. Make sure you guys drop a follow to the Twitch and the Kick to pull up to the live streams. Come be a part of the conversation. Drop me music, video reaction, recommendations, and come vibe with us. But look, this conversation has been ongoing, and me and chat, we're gonna talk about it while we listen to Shine talk about this whole thing. So I saw this clip before it started going viral on Twitter, and I was like, yo, if this gets around, people gonna start saying he's old, he's bitter, this and that. But look, y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. We're gonna go ahead and break it down and get some different people's takes on everything. So let me know what y'all think in the comments, and make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to support the channel. All right, guys, so look, I'm gonna catch some of you guys up on the whole situation in case y'all don't really know the context. So long story short, Mos Def, aka Yasin Bey, one of the goats, one of the rap goats, okay, was asked a question by an interviewer about Drake. And you could tell he was really trying to like parse his words and figure out how to put it. And I think the way he explained it is perfect. So let's go ahead and listen to what he said. Let's listen to what he said so y'all can hear for yourself, and then y'all tell me what y'all think.
Drake is pop to me, in the sense like if I was in Target in Houston and I heard a Drake song, it feels like a lot of his music is compatible with shopping.
Commercial music.
See, here's the thing though. Before I continue, did it make you look like you hating or you saying something crazy when people laugh at what you say? When you probably didn't mean it like that.
Exactly.
Like, if somebody laugh at something that I really didn't.
Because, like, it's not even nothing to laugh at for real. It's the other person's interpretation. Like, what I get from what he's saying is more so that Drake's music is linked with commodification and commercialization. So what do I mean by that? I feel like he's saying that the style of music that Drake makes is meant to be in tandem with consumption, overconsumption. That's the stage of society that we're in right now. Consumerism, like, all those things are connected, and we are in a stage right now in our society where we are in like a hyper consumption stage. So that just means like everything is content, everything's a product, everything is something to make you spend more money. The quality is diminishing while the quantity is increasing, right? So it's not even that it's anything wrong with it per se, but he's basically saying Drake's music is pop music. Pop music is the type of music that was played in stores. Hip hop and pop have crossed paths, and Drake has kind of broken that barrier even more between hip hop and pop. And he's talked about it. He's acknowledged that he's gone pop. So I don't see why people are really up in arms with that. Why does saying that something is pop, why is that seen as an insult? If anything, Black artists have been gatekept out of the pop category for a long time. Does that mean that Drake doesn't rap or doesn't do hip hop because he makes pop music? No. He chose to go the route of making pop music because he felt he would have better success there than just purely rap or conscious rap, which he was correct. So I don't really see how him pointing that out is some hater stuff, but I understand that the Drake Glazers are always going to take someone saying that he's not the GOAT, they're going to take it as an insult, just like LeBron fans. If you say LeBron not the GOAT, they're acting like you're saying he's ass, right? So that's just kind of how it goes.
Didn't intend to be funny. It make it look worse than what I actually said.
Or it's, shopping with an edge.
Shopping with an edge.
Fair. I like.
He said shopping with the edge. Now, I think that's kind of like, I don't think he's being shady, but I think he's just being kind of like, he's being kind of funny. Because he's like, you know what, let me give him a little credit because he got this real gangster, like, mafia boss personality. So let me give him his credit and say, you know what, it's shopping with an edge because he be talking tough in his music, right? Everybody know Drake tries to talk like a tough guy. So I think that's funny. I don't think he's being shady. I just think he's being funny.
Drake's music, but I
Because
understand.
Drake tries so hard to be tough that it's like, you know what, let me just give you your tens on trying to sound tough in your music.
Exactly what you're saying.
Of course, I mean,
It's
I get
commercial, entertaining, fun, good,
It's
formulaic music.
it's likable.
Likable music, yeah.
It's likable.
But
Oh yeah,
is it,
no. Oh no.
He said it's likable. I'm the and I think what he's really getting at here when he said it's likable, it's like that's basically what pop music is in its essence, right? And I think when you talk about someone like Mos Def or Yasin Bey, someone who truly cares about the art of writing in hip hop, there's a difference between people like him who care about the craft, who care about the culture, who care about the culture, something Drake does not truly talk about. He glorifies having goons and broke niggas run errands for him and hit licks on people for him, but he's not from that lifestyle. So he's coming from a detached perspective as someone that's almost using the people from the lifestyle as like a lot of rappers from the struggle. He uses them as pawns in his mythological game, right? He always talks about what he got his niggas that can do this and do that, but you're never gonna do it. You don't actually understand what that struggle is like, and that's why he can't make that type of music. He said to Kendrick years ago, he said, I would have all your fans if I went back and stayed on some conscious shit. That's what he was saying in response to Kendrick Lamar years ago when they were having a little beef. But it's no, you can't have, what conscious shit are you gonna rap about if you weren't from that lifestyle? My nigga, you are literally a Jewish black man. Like your story and your upbringing is completely different than most of the people who are actually in the hood. So that's where he kind of recognized he would never be able to win people over with that. So he went pop. We got to acknowledge that. That's just facts. It's not hating. But at the end of the day, like when he says that it's likable, if we're talking about the core of hip hop, which is to really talk about the struggle, to talk about the system, to talk about oppression, it's just expressing all of those things from the perspective of usually oppressed people. That's what the core of the art of hip hop and rap is. Drake decided to detour from that and decided to make his raps almost a caricature of this guy that thinks he's from this or that, or this guy that's just talking about women not liking him and this and that. At the end of the day, that's what he had to talk about because he couldn't talk about other stuff. If you were to talk about the more conscious, deep things in the music, your music wouldn't be likable. So I think essentially that's what he's getting at. If you were to make music that actually pushes conversation forward and challenges people or truly expresses the depths of poverty, oppression, being black, identifying as black in black struggle, your music is not going to be as likable to the same consumers that like Drake's music. You have to appeal to what the majority want. Who's the majority listeners of rap, people? White people. It doesn't mean there's not any poor white people, but it does mean that a vast majority of the people in the pop market are people who can't relate to that struggle. There's always people, white people that grew up in the hood and this and that. I'm not talking about them. The majority of the white people that listen to it aren't from that upbringing. Majority of them had the upbringing like Drake had, aside from like being in a movie or whatever. But there's a difference between the experience there. And that's why I say it's like Drake is cosplaying a character of what that audience of people feel that rappers portray themselves as, right? If Drake was just being Aubrey Graham in his music, it would not sell the same. It wouldn't. Like, he had to put on a persona in order to appeal to that market. It's the same with other popular hip hop and rap artists. You realize they have to put on this persona in order to gravitate towards like the bigger mainstream audience. They have to do it too, to some extent. Now, a lot of the other ones who are big, they aren't necessarily putting on a front as much as Drake is. You know what I'm saying? Like, Drake is kind of inauthentic with the way he approaches his stuff, right? Like, and I'm not saying he's never telling the truth about his stories, but you can tell that he's putting on like a persona in the front a little more than some people, like, let's just say like Outkast or something like that, you know, or who's another popular one, Snoop Dogg, you know, even they, like, it's the character of them that appeals to that audience that goes beyond just the core community and Black community. And we don't have control over the culture and hip hop. We aren't gatekeeping it anymore. Hip hop is commercialized, which essentially, I think that's kind of the core point that Mos Def is making here, is how hip hop has been commercialized and commodified and turned into pop rather than what it originally was as an expression of the struggle. But I understand a lot of people aren't going to see it that way. They're just going to be like, oh, he's hating. He's really commenting more on the commodification of hip hop, and the commercialization of hip hop is way bigger than what it was during his generation, when it was only like, what, 20 years old at that point. Now hip hop is like 50 years old. So it's evolved a lot. It's evolved many times over and deviated away from what it originally was. So sometimes people get stuck on the fact that maybe Drake is the biggest example of this and they defend him, but essentially it's bigger than Drake. Even look at what Drake has done with watering down the quality of his music to keep putting out quantity instead of quality. Back in the day when he was beefing with Kendrick Lamar, the thing that he said set him apart was that he was going to continue to put out quality projects over the long run. And we can see they both went different directions. Drake went the quantity route and said, oh, I'm going to keep putting out music every year. He was talking shit about, oh, I don't know about these guys that take 3, 4, 5 years off. You know, I'm here every year. Okay, but the quality of your music is not consistent. You're focused on getting your music in playlists and things like that, right? You're focused on hopping on whatever trend can keep you relevant. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that that's what's actually happened. I mean, if you're denying that, you're denying Drake's strategy. I would say it's a master plan, right? But there's some people who actually care about the art and care about the craft and the quality. And you could tell that Drake rather would put out a bunch of songs so they could maybe get on a bunch of different playlists, or make projects that aren't cohesive so he could keep putting content out. He's looking at music like content now rather than art. And I think when you have an artist who cares about the craft, they're always going to look at it differently, right? Because it's like, in a way, some artists or the OG rappers, they might feel like, well, you kind of sold out. It's subjective, of course. But, you know, y'all let me know what y'all think. H-Town said Drake wishes he wasn't from his old country. Facts, bro. Drake wishes he was from the hood. He wishes he was from Memphis like his dad. Breezy said you got a point for show like how Kendrick does. Gucci said I'm still here. I was doing karaoke with my daughter, but I got you up. Thank you so much, Gucci. I appreciate you, GOAT. All right, let's continue to hear what Sean got to say. Thank you, Tin.
He hating.
He started laughing.
Nigga laughing, no. Why is he doing that though?
Because he already know what y'all gonna
Why
think.
is he doing that?
So many products.
So many SKUs.
So many SKUs. Look at all these SKUs.
Cade is alive. You took my son?
Oh, hell nah. They done snuck me with an ad, child. They snuck me with an ad. He said so many SKUs.
Products.
So much merchandising, so many barcodes.
I love this mall. Look at this place. I mean, look at this place. They have everything.
And she eating it up. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. You making it worse.
Let the boy live.
Everything's here. They have everything here. Oh, this is great. This is a new Drake. You hear it? It's great.
So what's your problem?
Okay. What happens when this thing collapses? What happens when the columns start buckling? Are we not in some early stage of that?
So, see, this is why a lot of people are missing on this conversation. I don't blame them, because you have to really be in the weeds to understand. He's talking about late stage capitalism, y'all. He's not even talking about music anymore. This isn't even about Drake anymore. This is about some real shit about our society and our economy falling apart. And about quality across the board diminishing so that people can maximize profits. And if we all become collectively okay with that, it waters down our expectations for things. So it's kind of like, I think that's where he's going with it.
At this present hour,
that's what I'm thinking.
Are we seeing like the collapse of the empire? Buying and selling, where's the message that I can use?
Right.
He said, buying and selling, what's the message that I can use? See, that's deep. What I'm taking from that is, he's saying like, our society is about consumerism. I mean, it's about consuming. It's about consuming products, buying things, selling things. People trying to sell you everything these days. And then companies trying to get you to buy everything these days. But I think what he's saying is, it's a lot of talk about get in the bag, get in the bag, get in the bag. Or trying to sell someone else to get a bag. You know, or you giving someone else a bag so that you can try to get a bag. It's like all types of Ponzi schemes and shit going on around here. And it's all about buying and selling. Buying things, consuming products, materialism. And it's about selling stuff. If you're trying to, you know, be anything, it could be a landlord, a business owner, starting a side hustle. That's all our society's about right now. But he's saying like, where's the actual message in the music? It's all about buying and selling things and this image and keeping status and aesthetics and all these. But what about people that actually put messages in the music anymore? People are trying to run up streams and give a nice little vibe, but what about the essence of what hip hop and poetry is supposed to be about? It's usually supposed to have a message. And we become progressively more and more okay with there not being any messages in the music. Or at least if they are in the music, it's usually not positive. That's what I'm taking from it. Could be reaching, but that's what I'm getting. Yo, Plantain, thank you so much for chilling out with us, fam. I appreciate you. Hopefully you can win one of them next time. They were doing you dirty, my guy. Y'all make sure y'all tap it with the fam. W person right there.
What's in it for your audience apart from like banging the...
Okay, so old heads love hating on new niggas. I mean, Drake is not new. Drake is like 15 years. Drake's almost 2 decades into his career. I mean, actually more than that. So I wouldn't say that. But I don't know, like if you could add context to what he's saying, if you wanted to compare it to like a grocery store, for instance, and you say like the mega corporations are who bully the smaller yet arguably better material from reaching your local environment. Like you're gonna see a Walmart 9 times out of 10 more than you'd see like a store that grows their food without all the extra products and shit like that. And we've been talking about this for a minute. I mean, I've switched my argument from Drake into being like a talent conversation into being a capitalist conversation where you basically have to adhere to him because he's the biggest and you can't escape him. You can't escape Drake. Even if you want to, he's everywhere. And sometimes, you know, that's a result of his own, you know what I'm saying, influence and him calling himself the best. Other times this is a result of just purely hype. And he's the biggest and we don't really have a choice. I mean, he's everywhere, you know? He's everywhere. I do feel like old heads have something against Drake, though. It comes off like that in this interview because you would look at it and be like, well, is Drake like, is it offensive enough to like be bad? Is it offensive enough to, you know, be problematic? Like, does Drake's existence...
Want to make the switch to Shopify?
Oh, that's crazy. They really hit us with an ad, crazy chat. I don't think so. We're not watching that chat. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Is Drake's existence as a rapper, you know what I'm saying? Put people at risk or in jeopardy of anything. I think for preferences, I think for just overall finding music and shit like that, it makes it harder when there is such an overarching force kind of dominating the field, and it makes people, even if they don't want to give attention to certain types of music that they otherwise would stay away from and just find their own shit. But I find it hard to just exclusively blame Drake for that.
Right. He definitely aided it.
I'm not saying he is either. I just think that
Drake for sure was a catalyst. He helped expedite the process of us not caring about quality and being okay with quantity, and there being no message that benefits the audience. Like, if you think about rap and hip hop, a lot of the biggest artists or most respected artists to some degree talked about the struggle, the culture, Black culture, and expressed that in the music. And Drake is one of the first ones, not like ever, but like in terms of like mainstream or respected or successful, he's one of the first ones that didn't talk about it as much. Even Eminem, he's white and he's talked about the struggle. So like, it is kind of a different vibe, and I really think that's probably what is bothering Mos Def more than like anything else, is that he's normalizing just making music just for the vibe and not trying to give anything back to your audience. Like, look at a J. Cole, look at a Kendrick Lamar. The reason they truly have the respect of a lot of their peers, fans, old heads, and everybody is because they generally try to have a message that they want their fans to take away from their music. That's not all flexing on them and talking about how they can get their young niggas to pull up on somebody and da-da-da-da-da. I'm not saying that they never have bars where they're bragging or flexing or any of that. I'm just saying that part of their core as an artist is trying to express their lived experience in a way that could maybe try to teach a lesson to their audience. And a lot of rap, that's what it's about. A lot of hip hop, that's what it's been about for the most part. There's, of course, offshoots of people like with violence and glorifying sex and XYZ, but that has been a through line. And Drake, maybe because he's not from that background, could not truly engage in that authentically. And because he couldn't, he decided to go another route. And because he went another route, there's other people that follow what he does, and is creating another generation of people that aren't really talking about shit in their music for real, and just trying to make a banger, not trying to make some shit that resonates with somebody. It's a difference, and everyone has their preferences, of course, but it does kind of devolve away from the core of what hip hop and rap was. And I think that's what some people are having a problem accepting, that transition. It's each his own, right? Because there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, hey, I don't come to rap or hip hop to get some lessons or to learn something. I'm just coming to listen to music. And that's exactly the problem that he's talking about. So, hey.
Not impressed. Me personally, I'm not either. When a whole bunch of people have access to a thing.
Let's keep it 100. Drake's music has no teeth.
No, I'm not saying it does.
Know what I mean.
I'm not saying it does.
Rap lol.
But when a whole bunch of people like a certain thing, and you know that that thing exists everywhere, but you also know that there's another version of that thing that exists likely for a cheaper price that is of better quality, and these niggas are trying to tell you that this is the one that you have to get, it's like, can y'all shut the fuck up? Can you be quiet? Can you stop talking to me about this? I don't even know how they got to Drake in the first place. I don't know if the interviewer asked him.
It was definitely the interviewer. Oh, y'all can stop attacking me with these damn ads, YouTube. Y'all think this is funny. It's not. Turn y'all heads, Chad. Don't watch this. Don't watch this chat.
When people come to you telling you this is the best thing and you know that not to be the case, and it's there because of its overarching dominance, not because of how good it is or the quality of it or how good it is for you.
Right.
Now you left arguing with people that don't even know what the fuck they talking about.
Exactly.
And I'm sure that he's above arguing with niggas having discourse about his preferences and shit like that.
Facts.
You calling him a fast fashion nigga versus quality clothing? I'm saying it's fast fashion. I'm saying it's fast food versus, holistic shit. I'm saying it's
He's not lying, bro.
Underground versus mainstream to a degree. But there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you want to be on some shit that everybody else is on, that's cool. Because sometimes the shit that everybody else is on is also good. You go see the new Spider-Man movie, the Far From Home shit, and you like, okay, well, there's better, more carefully crafted movies that don't just rely on fan service and hype and the nostalgia factor. But you can still go have fun. I'm not saying it's like a problem to go and enjoy Drake. I think that people that make it seem like it's a problem are what, make people feel like insecure about their preferences or whatnot. But I also, like I said, I'm not a fan of the whole, like, this is the best. And I know it's not. And you don't even know what it is I'm talking about either.
It.
I'm showing you something you've never seen before in your life, and you are gung-ho that this is the best shit you've ever heard or seen. That's why it's a problem. It's very corporate in the hip-hop space. Yeah, that's what takes, I don't know, the fun out of it. Like, when I really started my music channel in the beginning, I was really naive to the idea that I could literally it was only about the music, and that was it. As we continued, it became about everything but. So when he's asking, like, what happens when this whole thing collapses, it's like, what do you have left after, the hype? What do you have left after, the trend, I guess? Like, what's next? What's beyond that, I guess? Is that enough for you? And if it is, then keep going with it. But if it's not, and it's not for a lot of people, then, like, what happens? This can't be the foundation for all of this. If you think Drake is the foundation of hip-hop, then, like, what the fuck? But, again, I don't even think that he's saying that. I don't even think that the interviewer asked that. Like, how did we get here is the question that I have. She knows asking a rapper like Mos Def, who is reasonably in anybody's top positions or top spots if they had to make a list of their favorite rappers or best rappers objectively.
Drake isn't important enough
that's
to
gonna
have a combo like this.
Cause a response that isn't charitable to Drake. It's kind of like bait. And so I feel like
she did bait his ass.
Interviewers should be above asking questions like that, knowing that people are going to look at it and assume probably that it's
she's trying to get her little clout.
She's trying to get her people gonna look at this and be like, oh yeah, he mad at the success, he washed up, he don't get it,
right.
blah 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 blah.
You set him up for that.
So I just feel like it's a baity kind of question. I don't like it like that. But I still want to see the beginning, like, context. But if he's reluctant or hesitant to answer, he knows what the reaction from the general public is going to be, because he knows how many people like Drake. Yep. He knows that Drake is for everyone. Yeah, I mean, if you make yourself convenient for people, and you are at a level that is at least tolerable for the average person to consume, I mean, you're going to be that staple. I don't think that disqualifies Drake from hip-hop because of that. But I also don't get what the question is supposed to be, because Drake is obviously a part of hip-hop. He's obviously a part of hip-hop, bro. Like, whether you like it or not, he's a rapper. He raps well, albeit occasionally. You have a lot of examples in his discography where he's rapping well, putting out great music at a certain point, putting out some really, catchy material. All of it doesn't fall within the hip hop lane specifically, but because Drake is so for everyone, he's going to get this criticism a lot, as opposed to, like, existing in a bit of a niche or kind of focusing on one particular thing, or just focusing on making great music consistently. Drake
He
is a
don't
very
care about that no
inconsistent
more.
artist. I don't think it could all be narrowed
just trying to
down
get
to
the
one
bag.
thing as simple as like, oh, he's just pop. Because there's examples where he hasn't been exclusively catering to pop or exclusively trying to exist for everyone or to be consumed by everyone. Like, what do you want it to exist as? Me personally.
But my thing is like, if his music is the most popular, how is he not pop? Like, people always want to make pop into this other thing. To me, if you have the most popular music, you are pop. Like, why do we have to act like hip hop is outside of pop? Hip hop is pop at this point. I mean, that's just in my opinion, though. Hey,
I'm good with the way hip hop is now. You're not gonna catch me listening to a whole.
There can't be one product that does all. Yes, there is one product that I suggest above all.
No, y'all didn't. Girl, if you don't get off my screen. Okay, let's see what he got to say.
I mean, occasionally I will, because sometimes I'll be in that mood, but I'm also cool with the new shit. And it relied on a different thing. Hip hop relied on different specifications in Mos Def's era because it hadn't been introduced to as wide of an audience. It wasn't as palatable or as digestible to nearly as many people as it is now. But if Drake existed during Mos Def's era...
What they probably mean is getting back to the main tenets of hip-hop. We should look that up.
Yeah, but what are the main tenets of hip-hop? If I'm looking for those things, Drake still meets all those qualifications.
I don't think so.
Isn't interesting to listen to. Like, what do you want? What is...
I don't think so. I would like to say, we're talking about the main tenets of hip hop. Like I mentioned before, the essence of it was rhythm and poetry expression of the struggle. That's it. Now, when you're missing the struggle in your experience, you can't speak to that. It's not complicated. Drake, his struggle is women not liking him. His struggle is his homies getting locked up for doing some shit for him that they shouldn't have been doing. That's Drake's struggle. That doesn't resonate with the core audience of hip hop, but it does resonate with people who just want to hear cool little storyline in a song that they can bop their head to. So, I mean, I would say it's really not that complicated. That's what it is.
What is Drake failing to meet in terms of hip-hop standards? I guess you could say substance, but that's requiring every hip-hop record to have substance, which I don't think it needs to have. Sometimes you could just have fun. The whole, like, hip-hop needs to have a message situation is like the equivalent of saying, like, every black movie needs to have a struggle.
No. It doesn't need to have a message, but you can't be surprised that when the music doesn't have a core message for the audience to take away, that everyone's not happy with that. It doesn't have to, but when you consistently across your career don't have any true substance to offer your audience, like about your experience, it's like he's just crying in all his music. And I don't mean like singing or something. Like, I mean, he's just like whining about things not working out for him pretty much, or how many people hate him, right? It's like, how many people can really resonate with that? Or you calling Justine, Christine, Charlene, you know, like, how are the average people going to relate to that? They might like to listen to it, but there is a segment of people that like hip hop and rap that actually want to take something away from people's music. He doesn't really offer that as much.
Or every black movie needs to have like a...
Yeah, he needs to watch the FD video about Drake. I would like to see his reaction to that.
A thoughtful commentary on this particular thing. That's why so many black movies recently have been so uninteresting, because they focus on shit that black people would rather get away from and not want to talk about. I'm here to watch a fucking movie. I don't want to have a reflection of my real life portrayed in the fucking film. I don't want a slave documentary. Show me a good time. Show me some regular shit from a black perspective. That's it.
But he's not necessarily for the culture, you know. He dodges a lot of stuff from a black standpoint.
Exactly.
He's very safe.
I get that. But
exactly.
Would you listen to Drake if he was...
SZA?
I mean, I would at this point, because I've gotten so much substanceless music from him. But the best music that I like from Drake has never really contained that deep of a message. It's been very personal. It's been very personable. It's been very closely attached to the life that he's lived, and I think that's okay. Nobody's destroying the genre. Adding more elements to it brings in another crowd. So when you add subgenres to an already existing genre, you're going to add people listening to that subgenre. And because people don't know how to properly categorize subgenres, they include everything under the guise of this one large ecosystem. And you could just say that this group is attached to this, and then they all become just like standard hip hop fans. Like people who listen to Yeat are not.
Cade is alive. You took my son?
YouTube, y'all can stop with these damn ads.
Is most likely. That's okay. But they all get grouped in with people that want to listen to like Mos Def era, Mos Def type music. And it's just not like that. Nobody gets acknowledged for their own skill set anymore. They have to adhere to this particular type of rubric, and everybody doesn't fit that style. And it's a lot of rappers that would not have made it today if they existed back in this era, because nobody would have acknowledged them or accepted them as such. But you have to broaden your horizon if you want to increase your range and bring in more ideas.
Can Drake just retire though? I don't want to hear an almost 40-year-old rapper talking about bitches and hoes.
Yarg Early Ann 81 redeemed text-to-speech and says road to 100k channel points. Took some thousands off just to flex. Zany face, winking face.
I'm dead. She said road to 100k channel points. Took some thousands off just to flex. You reminded me, bestie. I need to make the channel point costs go down for text-to-speech. I'm making 1,000. Happy New Year, Slizzer. How you feeling, bro? Thank you, bestie. H-Town said that shit had me going. I appreciate the shout out. I remember them days before affiliate. Then you helped me get affiliate. Hey, you already know, bro. You already know. You already know, bro. We been in this together. Like now, we done got to YouTube partner, and we got other channels cooking. I just started my sports channel. Well, I did a new video. You can check it out. It's my last video on there. Starting a new style for my sports videos on that channel.
That's what needs to happen. That's what this was about. I saw that. I didn't know that's what this was about. I saw niggas saying Drake most definitely is better and has more music in his discography that I'm gonna listen to than Mos Def. And I didn't know what the reason for that was for. I didn't. I had zero clue. I had no clue that that's what the fuck that was about. But like, I had no idea that that's what this was in reference to. I'm like, why they hate on Mos Def randomly? I just thought it was a Twitter thing for the day. Drake has the longest hot streak in hip hop history. He arguably the most successful hip hop.
See, that's the thing. Why do people always like respond to stuff like this? Like very nuanced like takes. They respond to it with numbers. It's like arguing with a LeBron fan, bro. All they're gonna do, oh, look at his stats. He has the most. It's like, okay, that's not even what we talking about. Betsy said, oh, good, inflation had us hemmed up. We made it, y'all. Yes, you just reminded me to do that. You just reminded me. I'm gonna do it.
Top artist ever.
Get some rest, Bestie. Go.
These are facts. Old niggas like most. Okay, so we veering off now. Hate that it's true. I wouldn't say he hates that it's true. Again, I just think that he don't see the hype. He don't see the deserving of it, I guess. And that's really what my biggest question is when I listen to the biggest of the biggest, who are also hailed as the best of the best. When I hear the better of the records that are being released, not from the mainstream or not from the biggest of the big. So when these people give these like accolades and they get these like all this notoriety off the numbers that they do and the success that they have, I think that's great. Congratulations, Drake. I also just feel like that don't affect the way I listen to this person's music.
I agree.
It never does. It shouldn't.
I agree.
The hip hop.
It's like trying to shut somebody down with numbers when they're telling you about their personal experience or what they like to think about stuff, It's like, what does numbers and album sales have to do with whether or not I like the music? Like
Numbers
Drake's last
conversation.
album sold great. I didn't listen to any of the songs. I've listened to less and less songs on every Drake album ever since If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. Every single album I've listened to less and less songs. And it's not just because I hate Drake. It's because I wasn't enjoying as many songs. Facts.
Isn't included, not because
People be
people
trying
want to
to
hate
argue with
on those
that.
who are successful. It's just because it don't mean nothing when it's in my ears.
Right.
So
What
when
is Drake selling? What does Drake selling 1 million copies of the albums have to do with how I feel when I hear this song in my headphones? Nothing. What's good, Drake?
Questions like this, they discredit to try and bring Drake down to their level. Down to their level, and you're talking about Mos Def is insane. That's an insane thing to say.
So Acorn is a financial tech company.
Yeah, I don't think so. We don't do ads. Next.
That's an insane thing to say. That's crazy. I will agree, that's crazy. Look at the reply. I think he just attacks rap from a whole different perspective and doesn't see Drake as a lyricist. I don't even think that's the problem that Mos Def has with Drake, to be honest. Unless he says that explicitly in the interview. Well, he's wrong if he thinks that as well, because I can make an argument that Drake raps at level
Please. Oh, please.
Okay.
Y'all Drake Glazers be dragging it. Stop. How has Drake rapped at a better level lyrically than Yasin Bey Mos Def? Why are we lying? That's what would be making y'all Drake fans look crazy, because y'all say shit like this just because he got better numbers, bro.
I'm just reaching my bag. I'm just gonna grab this real quick. Oh shit. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. This is Drake. This is Drake. And I think that's fine. The bags still look nice. The bags still look nice. I like the bag.
He's calling him an expensive
bag.
bag on some shit like Jordan
like
Poole talking to Draymond.
That's it. That's what this is. I like the optics of a thing, without the thing itself necessarily having anything within. You feel me? And I think that's okay. But I also can't lie to myself either, bro. I can't lie to myself and just pretend like because Drake has the aesthetic and he looks nice and he's doing his thing and he's successful that there's any substance to what he's doing. Not that I require it. That's okay. But to say that Drake raps at a level most never has, lyrically is insane. I don't know I'm trying to give Drake like some level of like, and I can't. There isn't a single song. What do you mean? There's more. There's not more, bro. Stop. Prove me wrong. How do you prove him wrong? The burden of proof is on you. Terrible take.
He said, prove me wrong.
Can't pull back from. Sometimes,
I forgot that
like,
him and his brother are Drake fans.
I'm his room now, so what do we do? Chat, I'm trying to make my screen dark. Double entendres.
The king?
That's not, I mean, that era is.
It's the era triple and double entendres. What?
It's not really an era. That's just what hip hop is. That's why I mentioned era. Wait, who is he responding to? What did they say? Pen versus pen is Drake. Have you listened to Black on Both Sides? Question. He not gonna answer this, but of course the answer is no. I don't think that's a proper conclusion to come to, but I think
H-Town said, do you think rappers that make radio music are better than the ones that don't? No, I definitely don't. Nope, not a chance. Like, I think to get on the radio, you have to have a different set and like package of things. Like, you gotta have commercial appeal. Maybe you gotta have a certain look, certain aesthetic. Your music has to appeal to a different audience than people who aren't trying to get on the radio. Like, there's plenty of people who are probably more like talented than people on the radio, but because they don't have the right combination of the other stuff like money, a label, marketability, maybe they don't look right, you know, or who knows, it's a bunch of different things. So that's why I never like just look at someone's numbers and be like, oh, they're better than this person because they have the numbers. It's a whole machine behind them. Yo, Space, thank you for the alert, Queen. Hope you're having a good night.
I think it is.
Hope you get some good rest. I'm assuming you're going to sleep.
Proper conclusion to come through, because if you did listen to that album, you would understand it. That's why this would never be a conversation. Not just that album either. He not gonna answer this. Blah blah blah. Drake, just gave a slight opinion. They got to defend. First of all, I've heard it. Second, it's an album from 25 years ago. Are we talking about an album from 99? Mos had his time. It's past. This is true. Mos Def definitely had his time. That don't mean that if I played a record from Mos Def right now, it wouldn't stand up lyrically to anything Drake has ever said. Drake era is just more skilled.
That's
attention, bargain hunters. Don't miss out.
Bro,
here's a free backpack.
People just be saying anything. How is Drake's era more skilled? Drake's era is more watered down every year he's been in the game, bro.
Supposed to be more versatile. You would expect 25 years later for you to be like the better of everything, because those who came before you have their blueprint, their rubric to look off of, and you kind of know, all right, this is what the bar is. If that's what you're going for. I don't think Drake's really going for that. And again, just because you on some Black Power shit, don't make your pen better. Y'all old as fuck. I agree with this to an extent, because some people use the messaging that they're going for as a way to say that since I have a message, my music is better or my song is better.
Right.
But that isn't the case for Mos Def. I'm just
be.
trying to shoot the argument a little bit of bail, but of course, for Mos Def, that's just not the case. He happened to have a message, but he also happened to have an incredible pen. Those are just the facts.
He said we talk about an album from 1999 like that disqualifies
because it's one of the greatest hip hop albums ever. I don't know why you mentioned the year. In what way is this era more skilled? Okay,
I gotta hear this.
Y'all just credit Drake's lyrical ability because he not on no conscious shit. But if they had to rap against each other, Mos is getting cooked.
Drake don't even do freestyle.
I feel like we're changing the argument then at that point. Saying Mos Def is like saying it's just Clay. That's what I'm saying. How can you say that? You literally can't say that. Some things are, like they were saying about the Lil Nas X and, portraying Jesus, and they saying that was blasphemous. This is blasphemy. You can't say this. You cannot.
Hey, look, that's it for me, y'all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Drop a follow to the Twitch and a kick to pull up to the live stream so y'all can be a part of the conversations. Let me know what songs and videos to react to in the comments. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe to support. But on that note, you guys, I'm outie.